Well, we're on. The live has started, and it looks to me very much like half of you have already been on. Starting way back in 5:40. So there you go, 5:40. That's quite a good sign, isn't it? Hello, everybody. Anyway, we've got people from YouTube only. Very few from Facebook, which is not unusual. Hi to Suffolk Hunter. Jackie is on. Blue Dicker Detects. Tony Hines. Detector Kev. Sam's World of Rations. Ant Doyle. In fact, Ant Doyle, here's the man, look. I was going to drop you a message earlier, Ant. I've noticed that you've been finding a few things. I think now is the time, Ant Doyle, to start your YouTube channel. I think it would be a pretty good YouTube channel as well. So, Johnny, me putting it out there, I think it'd be a good opportunity for you to showcase your finds, Ant Doyle. Lee Harrison, hi Lee. History Unearthed. Where we at? Oh, we've got lots of people jumping on. Tracy Roberts, hi Graham, Justin from Detector. I hope you found many nice things. I don't know why Tim has to say Deus 2 all the way from Cornwall. Maybe that you've just got to see it, I guess. Which is fine. Martin Davis, hello to you, sir. And also, I think you may be right. I think we may be. I thought Mel was going to do the next one. No such luck, Jim Lodge. Mel is just a little bit tired today. However, she's in the background with probably directions and keeping me in line, I guess. Lee Gasketh, how are you, Lee? I'm just going through the list of names that people have put up. History on Earth, I've said History on Earth. We've got Detector Kev, we've got Blue Dickers Detector, we've got Dave Taylor, Suffolk Hunter, and Dave Digger, Scotland, David Haggerty. Always a pleasure to see you all. And the good thing is, we've got some announcements to make, haven't we? We've got quite a few announcements to make, and we've also got a show, if that's the right word for it, packed full of information, advice, guidance, you name it, it's on tonight. We're about a week or two overdue for a live stream, which is not unusual for me, but the world has gone a little bit crazy and we're very busy people at the moment, and I get rather distracted with different things. So we thought that because I wasn't detecting this weekend, that I would be able to do one tonight. And here we are, folks. He says, getting hold of his pen. Right, so quite a few of you will know there's a double competition running. There's a double competition running at the moment just to mark the hi Andrew Allen, and Dave Reed and Jim Block, and a Facebook user called whoever, I don't know who that is on Facebook, but hi G, hi to you too, sir. I'm just trying to check who we've got. We've got mainly people on YouTube watching, which is understandable. If you get chance on YouTube, folks, just give us that thumbs up. It just makes the thing more visible for us all. So if you can give us a thumbs up on both the face. Graham Jinks, good man, is Graham Jinks. Good to see him. If you give us a thumbs up on YouTube, folks, that'd be fantastic. Lawrence Hartley, Ryan Chapelau. Always a pleasure to see these people, by the way. So as you are aware, we put a competition on at the weekend yesterday just to celebrate, if that's the right word, the launch of the new micro metal detecting spade from Mine Lab, which is quite a good little spade actually. So we've put a couple up for people to win, and the winners are going to be announced on this live stream. So the first one will be off the Unearthed group, and then the second winner will be from the Unearthed page, which is good. Let me just show you the spade. Well, one of the spades that you can win. These are the new Mind Lab. I don't know if you can see that. You can see that. If I can just adjust this light, you can see the Mind Lab logo on there. It's got some performances, everything, branding there. But that's the spade, folks. Well, there's 2 spades up for grabs, and they're brilliant actually. That I mean, they're not the longest spade. They're a micro spade, but I mean, you can gives you some idea of the length. Ideal for arable land. If you're an arable detectorist and you're bending on you're kneeling down all the time, these things are brilliant. I mean, people use them for pasture, of course, but I wouldn't recommend using them for pasture for a long period because you get a bad back. It's like the people that use the yellow bulldog spades, which is fine, but I've seen people standing up and bending right down like this, so that the back's angled almost like that, digging with these little spades. You're going to get a bad back eventually, folks. Perfect little arable detecting spade. So there's 2 up for grabs. Winners are going to be announced on here, which is fantastic. John O'Reilly, good to see you, sir. If you can all give us a thumbs up on YouTube. I kept saying that, but it just makes the thing more visible, is the word, visible. And because it's been such a success, the mini competitions that we've run, because we haven't done too many competitions really. We're not really competition mad anymore, because we just didn't think they were needed really, did we, Mel? We didn't really do too many, did we, competitions? We used to do loads, didn't we? Yeah. And then it seemed to be lots of different Facebook groups doing different competitions, and you know, it almost became sort of not another competition. So we never really bothered. But this one's been a success. And I think because it's been such a success, we'll probably, leading up to Christmas, do 1 or 2 more if people are happy with that. Let me just say, Jammy Dodger's on. He's saying, yeah, you will get a bad back. Absolutely. I mean, there's nothing worse than suffering with a bad back. Those that haven't suffered with a bad back yet, you know, brace yourself, because if you're a detectorist and you're bending over with small spades, eventually you're going to get a bad back. History Unearthed. Well, I remembered, you stock the camo jack pipe winter gloves. There's lots of different types of jack pipe gloves, Daz. If it's the neoprene ones, we've got them coming in later on this month. There's another set of gloves that jack pipe do, like a camo, big, thick. They're not a fleece. I think they've got a fleece line, but the fleece line in ones do get mud up quick. I mean, we can get them, but you know. Dale's on from, just while you're on, enjoying the channel. Great information. Thanks, Neil. That's very kind of you. I mean, you know what? Our YouTube channel is actually growing quite well, and that's good. You know, we do put a lot of time. I actually believe in YouTube. I don't believe in a lot of things these days, but YouTube, if it's done correctly by good people, YouTube can be a brilliant place for information, advice, and guidance. And it can be a really good platform for messages and information and detecting related subjects and a whole lot of different related subjects. I mean, if I have a problem with anything, I always sort of resort to YouTube for the answer nowadays. But there's a swamp of bad stuff on YouTube at the moment, and it always seems to be the same people that are sort of swamping it with rubbish, and it's a shame, because I think it brings the YouTube I think it brings YouTube down a little bit. That's just my opinion, of course, but I do believe in it. I think it's a brilliant platform. It's a very difficult platform. It's almost like Squid Games. If anybody ever watched Squid Games, YouTube is very similar to that, in so much as you've got to go through a series of hoops and a series of challenges to get where you want to be, obviously without getting shot. But it reminds me very much of a friendly Squid Games, because there's that much to cram into YouTube to make your films and your short content viable, and you know, making the content for people to watch very difficult. As I'm here mentioning about YouTube, folks, we've got Detecting with Dale. Now, I haven't entered as I didn't think it would look fair. If I won, well, we wouldn't probably allow you to win anyway, Dale, but I understand your concern. But while we've got Dale on, Dale, as you can see here, Detecting with Dale, Dale's puts a lot of time and effort into his YouTube. It doesn't always get the results that he would wish, and the world loves a trier, as they say. But Detecting with Dale is a growing channel, as is a lot of the Team Unearthed crew. You know, I've got to make sure that I don't leave the other members out, such as Jason, Kev, Susan, and Will, Dan. Robert, Dan. You know, they all are trying to grow their YouTube channels, and it can be a painful process to get to 1,000 subscribers. Now, 1,000 subscribers in a world where there's millions, if not billions, of people swanning around on social media and YouTube, you'd think getting 1,000 subscribers would be an easy thing to do. But if you try to get 1,000 people, you know, to swim in your direction, it can be quite a difficult thing. So Dale's putting a lot of time and effort into his channel. If any of you haven't subscribed to Dale's channel, which you can see here, Detecting with Dale, you will understand when you watch it that he does put a lot of time and effort into his channel. And if you give him a sub, I think it'll help him greatly towards reaching his target of 1,000 subscribers. Now, just putting this out there, don't think, for the cynical people out there, because there's always cynical people no matter what you do in the world, people don't make money out of YouTube or a living out of YouTube unless they've got multiple thousands of subscribers. So it's not about Dale trying to make money off the back of people subscribing to his channel. What he's trying to do, he's trying to achieve and get to a milestone of 1,000 subscribers, so people enjoy watching his content and the finds that he makes. So if anybody out there would feel free to drop him a sub, then it would be great. That would be very helpful for him. Do you still do the detector competitions? Not at the moment, Lee. We started the original ones off of the detecting competitions on Facebook, and they were very, very popular. And the reason why we did them, because we're good people, is so we could put a decent detector, you know, a high-cost detector, in the hands of people for a very little outlay. So people were winning a high-end detector for a £5 or a £10. And then, of course, because it became popular, lots and lots of different Facebook groups started copying what we were doing. And then all of a sudden, the system became flushed with competitions, which ended up damaging the trade a little bit, I think. And even to this day, there's still people doing detecting-related competitions that are not even directly involved in the trade. Some of the metal detecting suppliers are supplying them in detectors. Personally, I don't think it's a good thing to do. I really don't, and that's me out there. Anyone wants an argument about it or a debate, more than welcome. But there's too many of these metal detecting Facebook competitions going on from people that have a full-time job elsewhere, and they're doing it to make money on the side. And I don't agree with it in so much as they're not involved fully in the metal detecting trade. They don't do the work and put the effort in like we do, and they don't pay taxes. So, you know, but we put a lot of effort into our brands, Mel.
Yeah, but they don't pay taxes. That's the main thing.
Well, they do. They don't pay tax either, yeah.
Going in their ass pocket.
Going in their bum pocket, Mel said. Yes, is the answer to that one, History on Earth. We'll get some in. And here we've got somebody from New Zealand. It is Dean Kennington. I've not seen Dean for a while. How are you, sir? Hope your detecting's going well out in New Zealand, and I hope you're finding many bits and pieces. We've got Colin Ainsworth. Hi, Graham. Listening in, having my tea at the moment, which is good. YouTube is a constant thing, Tony says. Yeah, absolutely. The thing is with YouTube as well is they're having to change the way they work now because of TikTok and other things. They're in major competition now with TikTok that have billions of people on their platform. So, and I do believe in it. I do believe in YouTube. I think it's a great place. We've got Jeff Block. I hope Jeff's good. And we've got hi Graham, loving the legend, Steve Harrison. That's good to know, Steve. I'm glad you're enjoying it. That's good news. And I think Digger Dan's coming in with definitely not an easy task getting to that 1,000. It isn't. And if I remember when I first reached 1,000 subscribers. You imagine getting 1,000 people in a huge room. That's a lot of people. Let's not forget 1,000 subscribers is a lot of people that you're asking to watch your channel. They don't have to watch your channel. These people that subscribe do not have to watch. They're doing it because they want to. And you're providing a entertaining, light-hearted entertainment for them to watch, or an interesting slot of entertainment via YouTube, detecting related stuff. So you know, don't be dismayed if you're only getting 1,000 subscribers. That's a lot of people. And it was the hardest job on earth getting to that 1,000. Once you get to 1,000, things get a little bit more relaxed because YouTube start helping you a little bit more and pushing your content out there for people to see. Cheers, Jay. I hope you get some subscribers anyway, Dale, off the back of that, mate. It's difficult. It's very, very difficult in a world of many people with their particular brand of machine, and they found a couple of decent coins, think that they're going to go straight to YouTube and get millions of subscribers. It doesn't work like that. But the place is becoming flush now with detectorists setting up their own YouTube channels, which is brilliant because it's opening up their creativity. But if they're putting rubbish content out there, it just swamps the market full of rubbish, basically. Tony says, it's surprising how many views some people get and how many people don't give a comment or a like. No, that's true, Tony. Yeah, I think a lot of people watch from other devices, maybe on a mobile phone. They forget to like it, or they don't get the chance to subscribe, or whatever it might be. But I agree. And here's a great guy coming on. It's Len Jackman. Hi, Graham and Melanie. Just got back from detecting in Northamptonshire. Fantastic place, Northamptonshire. Len, I remember it fondly because I found my first gold hammered coin in Northamptonshire, and it still brings me back many memories. It was the first and only time, I think. No, I have actually detected there once other than that, and that was with the Henry Cole Great British Treasure Hunt film. But yeah, I found a gold hammered in there. It's a good area, as you'll know. Tracy, any chance of Unearthed holding a Cumbrian rally? From Tracy Roberts. We do lots of, let me rephrase that. We do lots of organised digs, Tracy, as you probably see on the Unearthed YouTube channel, but we don't do commercial rallies. And there's a reason why we don't do that. It is because we handpick the people on our organised digs, so we don't get into any dangerous water, I should say, and we don't do it for a commercial reason. We could, and probably could make a lot of money out of doing it, but managing lots of people, 80, 100 people, it's just not for me. I think small groups of dedicated individuals and you know, really sort of not professional detectorists, because I don't like using that word, but as near as you damn can get to it, they're much easier to work with, and they're much easier to get enjoyment out of when I see them pulling up coins and artifacts like we did this time last week. So I'm getting in. If we reverse back a week, I'd probably just be getting in the door now from a wonderful day's detecting last Sunday, where for one of the first times I was watching people that hadn't been detecting that long actually finding the feet in the hobby. So the technique wasn't brilliant for a number of years, maybe a couple of years, and they had a run of bad luck for whatever reason, and they maybe didn't have the machine set the way they should have. But last week I saw some changes in detectorists which really pleased me, and they were starting to find really good things, and they were starting to pull up hammered coins and medieval artifacts and just enjoying the experience. And I got as much joy watching and filming these artifacts and coins coming out the ground as I would finding them myself. And that's why I do it. I don't really do it for any other reason other than to say thanks for being a customer of Unearthed and buying your metal detector from me and Melanie, but also seeing the people have the opportunity to experience what I've done over the past 30 or 40 years. And I think that's a real joy. You know, lots of people say to me, "Why are you detecting on your own organised digs?" And I say, "Well, I've been detecting for 40 odd years. I've experienced everything there is to experience in the world of detecting, and it's a pleasure to just stand back, and it's a different pressure, and it's a difficult job." Very, very difficult job, but I get so much joy out of seeing somebody that's never found a hammered coin before pulling up a Lizzie Sixpence, or pulling up a Groat, or pulling up an Edward Penny, or a King John Shortcross. It's just an amazing to see the face beam. And the beauty of it is, while I'm here ranting about it a little bit, is there's not many, if any, on our organised digs that are in it for financial gain. They're all clued up and in it for the history. They're triggered by the history. They're not interested what it's worth. All they're interested in is, do you know what? Who held that coin or artifact before I found it? It's just an amazing experience. That's why we do the organised digs, Tracy. But you never know. In the future, we may do an open unearthed rally in Cumbria, but at the moment there's nothing on the radar. So we've got Suffolk Hunter. You've had some cracking digs this year. We went through a spell of really not finding a great deal. In the summer when it was dry, we were hitting little patches of stuff. A few Bronze Age bits were coming up, one or two hammered, but we weren't hitting what I would expect. I was going home disappointed. I was going home disappointed for the detectorists, not for myself, because I knew there was stuff there, but we just weren't hitting the fields with the gear on. But over the last 3 or 4 digs, we've got the graph has gone from up here to down, and now it's on the way up again. It's in that curve, and it could be that we're hitting the farms that we've wanted to hit for a long time and not had the chance to, but also that the weather's changed. It's not as dry and as arid, and the ground isn't as hard, and the weather isn't as hot and sticky. The cool weather's here now, and there's conductivity in the ground's up. So I think it's a combination of those things, and we're going to be sticking my neck on the block, folks, and you can hold me to it if you want, but I would suggest from now until Christmas there's going to be some terrific organised digs on the horizon. There's going to be some fantastic finds. There's going to be some lucky people out there. I've started using Instagram more than Facebook now. Yeah, no, Instagram's a good platform, and you don't get any trouble on it, do you? You don't get any idiots, you know? And we've got a wonderful man, actually, in Ian McLeod. I've not seen him for a couple of digs, but he's a great guy. And Melanie has got a message coming through from Digger Dan saying, "Hi, Mel, hope you're okay." Kev saying he tried out multi-frequency 2 on the Legend today, out of my comfort zone, but found some bits and bobs. Yeah, it's just a matter of just getting used to that particular mode, Kev. Always stick with what you're comfortable with, but don't be afraid to come out of your comfort zone every now and then, because you could be surprised with the results. There you go, Dale. I've just subscribed. So Dale's got a subscription from Tracy Roberts. There you go. If anything, he's got a new subscriber. That's good news. It's one more to his milestone of 1,000 subscribers. And when that happens, I can sleep comfortably that night, knowing that Dale has hit 1,000 subscribers. Insta is like pulling teeth. It depends. You've got to know what you're doing. If you look on my Instagram, Dale, you'll see I'm getting a lot more views than I would even on YouTube. It's how you manage that platform. That's the key. And my friend and I went detecting on the beach in Hartlepool and found nothing. We were called to our house as someone has lost their gold ring, which we found. So a good day after all. That's great to sorry. I do excuse my throat for stopping me talking, but that's good news, Michael. Thanks, Tracy. Lee Harrison is going to subscribe to Dale after watching me waffle on, which is good. Lee Gaskarth is also subscribed to Dale. So it sounds to me that there's 1 or 2 people subscribing now to Dale. There you go. And that's I'm not going to say any more, because people watch this film after this live stream's gone ahead. And in the next few days, I'm sure people will just drop Dale a sub. Treasure Hunters, hi everyone, nice to see you. Lovely to see you. I hope you're well. How are you? Keep doing that sterling work that you're doing, and I hope to see you or hear from you out in the fields at some point in the near future. I don't think you've been detecting that much, or have you? I don't know, but it'd be good to know if you have. Dark Knight Detectorist, when a channel of 3K plus is only getting 100 views per video over a month and hardly any comments, it makes you wonder where the subs are coming from. Yeah, well, some channels, Jason, some channels will actually not cheat, but they'll actually use different. I don't think it's apps. Maybe an app or something, where they'll actually boost their subscribers. they'll pay a one-off fee to get their subscription boost. But these people are not really bothered about detecting. They'll probably just sort of, you know, I'll sub in but never watch it again. And it's wrong. You've got to, the key to YouTube is having the people watching your channel that want to watch it rather than being forced to watch it. That's the key. Bloodicus detects High Treasure Huntress. And we've got Looter 8. Treasure Hunter, hello people. Never heard of you before, sir, but welcome to the Unearthed live stream. Tracy Roberts is asking, how do I get handpicked? The whole reason why we do the Unearthed Organised Digs, Tracy, is it's from people that buy their detectors from us. So everybody on the group, every person that attends the Organised Digs here in Cumbria are all customers of Unearthed. So they've bought their detectors from us. And it's our way of saying thank you to them for being loyal to us. And I just like to give them a little bit back. And I think that's how it works. I'm very uncomfortable with having people that are detecting on the organised digs after me doing so much hard work securing the land with the landowners and farmers to see that they've bought their metal detector off Joe Blogs, but they want to jump on board with Unearthed for the organised digs. I suppose it's a little bit like, and I've probably said this a few times now, buying your food from Tesco's and asking Asda how to cook it. So we've got lots of people jumping on. I'm just going to. Oh wow, we've got a lot of chat going on. Anyway, I love Shortcross medieval coins. Oh, I do. They're one of the most favorite. Let's just have a look here. I hope to make you happy one day if you choose a day I'm not working on, mate. You shouldn't be working on a Sunday, Wayne. Everybody should be entitled to a day off on a Sunday. And Graham has completely detected. There you go, right? Do you know what? I feel like I pretty much have. But then again, I look, the desire is still there in me to keep going, you know, traveling thousands of miles a year to detect all over the country like I used to for 30 odd years. The desire and the energy is still there, but the time isn't there anymore. I've just not got no time. I mean, this week I'm picking a Wednesday of all days to go detecting if the weather gods are on our side. Just got a break in the window where I can actually take myself off detecting on my own private permissions. It's that crazy these days. I'm neglecting my own detecting. I need to find more hammered. I'm getting towards 1,000 hammered down stalling. I would have been there if it wasn't for COVID. I would have been there. COVID stopped me doing lots of things. Hi, Colin Ainsworth. Hi, Graham, and best wishes to Mel. Talking of digs, do you know when the next one is yet? The next dig we're planning on around about the 23rd of October, but there's no news yet until I secure the permission for the landowner. But if it comes off, what a dig it's going to be. Well, what a dig it'll be, because it's a special piece of land that's coming up. Martin Newell, what a nice fella. Good to see you on here tonight, Martin. As always, really nice fella he is. And Bloodicus Detect says, hi, Martin. That seems to be the general pattern of detecting. Always had my high shot thinks who was the last person to hold the coin or artifact. Oh, it's amazing. I mean, there's no better healer than metal detecting. It is the greatest hobby on the planet. It's almost spiritual, if that's the right word. Detecting is almost spiritual. It's got an X factor link to it. Long before that stupid word X factor was used on the television, by the way, folks, for this silly dancing on the stage and singing like an idiot, right? There is an X factor linked to the hobby. There's absolutely is. There's a sixth sense that's linked to the hobby of metal detecting. I'm absolutely convinced of it. And on another show, I can maybe discuss that with you a little bit more, but not tonight. We've got lots of comments. I'm probably missing a lot. Do you know what? Ryan actually says a good point here, actually. Instagram is easy for followers. You just need the right bodily assets. You do. You need a 36 double D and a pretty face full of makeup, dancing all these silly dances, and you'll get millions of views. However, if you're putting really important content out there, like wonderful artifacts that are saved from destruction and coins and history, then you're not going to get the same amount of views, folks. That's the problem. But if you've got the assets, well, there you go. Where we at? So we've got Treasure Huntress is back on. Not too much, unfortunately. Another truck left from the UK today, and next transport in a week time. So, folks, you know what? You're doing a sterling work out in the Ukraine-Polish border. I have been following your progress and the work that you're doing out with this war going on with Russia and Ukraine. So you keep up the good work. If it wasn't for people like you, I think the world would be in a worse place. Right. So I'm going to take that off the screen. So you're all aware of this competition that we're running for. We've got up to 50 odd people watching, which isn't too bad. We've got the new MindLab spade still in its wrapper, folks. As you can see, the MindLab logo there, hidden away. Ooh. Performance is everything on the shaft. It's a new micro shovel from MindLab, and there's 2 of these to win. We've done the competition on the Facebook group and the Facebook. That noise in the background, folks, was Tinker, the unearthed dog, legging it upstairs. Why? I don't know. Or bed. She's going to bed, right? She's going to bed. She's had enough of me waffling on. We've got 2 competitions running to win 2 of those spades. One off the unearthed page, one off the unearthed group. We did a live generator. Well, I'll rephrase that. Melanie did a live generator with all the names and numbers put into the live generator. You pressed the first one and whose name come out, because I can announce it now and then we can put it on the groups. There's the one off the group. The winner is, drum roll.
Lucy Walton.
Who?
Lucy Walton, I don't know.
The winner was Lucy Walton. If anybody knows Lucy Walton, if she's on here watching tonight,
She was on the Facebook group.
she was on the Facebook group. Her number came up off the live number generator, and she's won the first MindLab micro spade. Like I said, these are really strong. Whew. I won't be doing that again. That's the first one from the unearthed Facebook group. Lucy Walton is a winner. Now then, there's also another winner to be announced on the unearthed page, and Melanie did the draw earlier. Who was the winner? Right. Just bear with me, folks. I have wrote it down. I know exactly who it is. Right. So the winner is Ryan Conway. So if anybody knows Ryan Conway, let him know. I don't think he's come up on the chat. But there's 2 winners being drawn out there. Now, here's the thing. Here is the thing, right? Because these competitions are quite popular, we'll probably do another couple of them for people. So it's just keep an eye on the unearthed page and obviously on this YouTube channel. And what we'll do is we'll try our best to do a couple more competitions before Christmas. And of course, we've got the big competition coming up when we reach 7,000 subscribers, which isn't too far away. So that's good news. So we can move on now. The competition is finished. Oh, by the way, if you are keen on a shameless plug, guys, a shameless plug. If you are keen on a MindLab micro shovel, they're on the website now, $14.99. I think that's terrific value for money, actually. And these are, like I said, if you're an arable detectorist, these are brilliant. These spades, absolutely brilliant. There you go. And they're strong, really strong. If you remember them little bulldog spades, I broke 3 in 18 months, but my nickname was Wreck-It Rush. These are a lot stronger. These are a lot stronger, as you can see. I don't know if you can see that. Just all molded, really strong spades. They're on the unearthed website, $14.99 if you want to purchase one of the new MindLab micro shovels. But yeah, pretty good. 2 winners. He says dropping it. Melanie gave me a dirty look for dropping it. But you know, these live streams, you're always going to drop something. Hey everyone. Hope you're all good. Hi Glenn, hope you're well. And Tony says detecting helps mental health unbelievably for people. It's a fantastic thing. Totally agree. Right, good to see you, Dan. You take care, mate. Thanks for watching. Shawnee Steele, 1,000 hammers. How long have you been detecting? Since 1977. However, it took me a long time to find my first hammered proper. Hi guys, Detecting Scotland. How are you, sir? Well done to all the winners. Well done to all the winners, says Dave Taylor. Congratulations, the winner. Tidy little shovel from my lab. Any news on the legend 8 before? Nothing at all at the moment, Mike. No, there's nothing. I mean, I'll check, but I've not heard anything really. You just said the C word, Graham. Did I say the C word? What? What? Don't know. I dropped a clanger on the live streams. Don't worry about it. I'm always dropping a clanger somewhere, mate. Detector Kev says he was born in 1979 and I was detecting in 1977. So it gives you some idea of my age, doesn't it? 53 next year. Any news on the Pontefract? I've got to get somebody to check the Pontefract land very soon for green waste. So as soon as that comes off, Andrew, I'll let you know about that one, mate. So there's lots of interesting stuff going on. So we can move away from the competition which people have won. Oh, Christmas is the C word. It is. Yeah. Well, it's not far away, is it? Oh, Liverpool lost. Thanks for that, mate. That's just, you know what? Do you know what? I'm not even going to go into football because we'll just lose so many people watching. But if I was Jurgen Klopp, I'd be seriously looking at that defence. I'd be giving them a right kick up the backside with my size 12 boot. I really would. If you can't cope, can't take the heat, get out the kitchen. Right enough. Useless, mate. Useless. So we're getting a lot of calls about the Manticore. A lot of messages. When's it coming out? What's the news on it? If you've noticed the last day or so, the Manticore has now made its way to the Unearthed website. Not for sale, but we've actually put it on there so people can see a little bit more information about it under the description, and people can look at the price and just learn a little bit more about it. What we have gleaned from the Manticore information is Minelab have proudly announced it's the fastest, quickest, most powerful metal detector of its type they've ever made, which is rather exciting. 50% more power than the Equinox, and a lot lighter, and a lot of everything. However, I wanted to know about the battery power in the Manticore, and it looks like it's going to give 9 hours of detecting time and probably take around about 7 hours to charge. Now, that's going to be interesting in so much as slightly less detecting time than the Equinox. I don't want it mess. Yeah, no, it'll be a fairly simplistic machine to use, I should imagine. I don't think they'll make it. I think the beauty of a lot of these new detectors now, they are as easy or as complicated as you want them to be. The problem I've got with the manufacturers of metal detectors is they're all trying to outdo each other with more and more features, and that doesn't necessarily strike true or excite a lot of detectorists. A lot of detectorists want the power right from the switch on button, and they want to tweak a few things, and they want to get detecting without too much hassle. There's nothing worse than standing in a field trying to reprogram a machine or program a machine that isn't quite right in performance. So there's something not right. So it could be a notch or two out somewhere, which is hampering its performance. So the manufacturers have got to wake up and think about bringing a machine out that is pretty much simplistic to use, but with the performance right there, right now, rather than cramming a huge menu system in that can actually put people off buying them. So, reliability, performance should be there right from the switch on button, not too difficult to do. The problem is if they do that, then they can't put reams and reams and reams and reams of information about what they've crammed into it performance-wise. So people will say, well, that one's got more of that and that one's got more of that. If they inbuilt it and made the performance right there, right now, without too much hassle, without all stupid menu systems and sub-menu systems and tiny little writing on the screen that you can hardly hear, and a toggle button that you've got to go down a different frequency or a different whatever it might be, or a different mode, then, you know, simplicity is always wins. Always wins. But they don't listen. That's the problem. A lot of them don't listen to the detectorists or the seasoned detectorists. Going back to the Manticore, so we're thinking that might be arriving here in the UK around about November, end of November, before Christmas or whenever. But we are hopeful that it will reach the British shores. What a mouthful! British shores before Christmas. So there you go. And of course, and there's some really interesting stuff there, actually. A machine that doesn't need 1 billion updates just to get it performing right. I mean, that's right. I mean, I've been the biggest critic about machines coming out and then multiple updates coming out within days, weeks, you know, a month or two of it. And it confuses people and gets people frustrated because some of the updates go sideways rather than better, than up. So there you go, folks. The Manticore is nearing, but we certainly won't see it this month. As soon as I get any more information about it, I will let everybody know. It rather excites me because of its power, and Minelab's claim for it to be the most powerful metal detector they've ever made of its type. Fastest, most responsive, you know, quickest, whatever else. They're not talking about the battery life. I think they're talking about speed, depth, and power in that umbrella, Andrew. They're not talking about battery life. They're talking about it having more power, more detecting power than other machines that they've made. And I guess they're putting that alongside the Equinox. Graham, there must be something going on in our hobby that is rubbing you up the wrong way. Mine is too many people coming into the hobby for the wrong reasons. What's rubbing me up the wrong way? I think.
What is it?
Do you know what? It's what, Mel?
What is it rubbing you up the wrong way?
Melanie just said, right, and with a grin on her face, right, and you know, I actually laugh there because she's got a big grin on her face trying to wind me up, saying what doesn't wind me up these days. Politics wind me up, the state of the country winds me up, football's starting to wind me up. It's my age, folks, and the sheer amount of people flocking into the country now, cramming the cities and towns up, you know, you name it. I think one of the things that's winding me up about the hobby, I mean, you did ask, is going to be Facebook. Facebook has too many metal detecting groups. Every single day there's a new metal detecting group come up on Facebook. And you can't do me a favour, can you, Mel, and just get me one of them little glasses of water, can you? That stuff in the fridge. Because my throat's really dry.
Just want a bottle of water. I don't want to
No, that stuff, that good stuff, that green bottle stuff. Well, the one with 836 minerals that you told me it had. So Facebook is the problem, I think, with a lot of metal detection related stuff. And here's my reason why I say that. So there's a lot of new detectorists that come into the hobby, and I understand why they want to, you know, make a thing for themselves within the hobby. I've got no problem with that. But then they start a Facebook group up, and they don't care who they add to the Facebook group. They just want the numbers. So they're desperate to get to 20,000 people on Facebook, but they cram it full of idiots, and they cram it full of the wrong people, trolls, night hawkers, money guys selling on eBay. They don't care. They just don't care, basically. Thanks, Mel. And what happens is, on Facebook, on these metal detection related groups, the admin become very, very powerful in their own world. So in their own lunchtime, in their own little bubble, they become tyrants. So they've come in, they've only bought a detector 12 months ago, 18 months ago. Never really found a great deal of stuff, to be fair. Never been on a big dig. Never been on a good field, in my opinion. But they become admin on these metal detecting Facebook groups, and they almost become tyrants because they think they've got the power, and they give a lot of rubbish information out. And I just think, it can't be a good thing for the hobby. They don't know the rules. They don't stick to the regulations. They don't understand giving people common, decent advice and guidance. All they want to do is make that Facebook metal detecting group as big as they can get with so many people and say, I'm banning you because you don't know what you're doing, or what I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And they start becoming they change as people, they get power. And it's probably because all their lives they've never had any voice in any particular role of life. They've just sort of gone through school unnoticed. They've gone through their working life unnoticed. They've probably gone through relationships unnoticed, but then they end up on Facebook. And that admin role on Facebook, on the metal detecting groups, for example, gives them that little bit of power that they've never had. That little bit of power, they can't handle it, goes straight to the heads. They become tyrants. And then they get sponsors off metal detecting dealers that already sponsor 20, 30 other groups. They don't really bother about what the group's for. And then everybody thinks, wow, you know, I've got this power. I've got this metal detecting dealer in my pocket. We don't work like that. We don't work like that. If anybody comes to me and says, do you want to sponsor our Facebook group, metal detecting group, and they've already got a sponsor on it, or they've had another dealer sponsor it, I'd just say, no, thanks. I'll never step on another dealer's feet about sponsorship. Not like that. We don't work that way. But that's the one thing that's starting to wind me up about the hobby. There's too many Facebook groups coming up, and every day there's a new one. I tried to get added to so many of them, and they're just giving rubbish advice and guidance out there. Clean your coin with Coca-Cola, or actually, when you finish with the Coca-Cola and you finish cleaning the coin with Coca-Cola, the rest of the Coca-Cola you can use on your toilet. So there you go. I saw a post the other day of someone who found a Civil War hoard. They oinked it out of the ground, washed every single coin, then received praise from thousands of members on a certain group. Well, there you go. There you go. Absolutely wrong. You know, there's so many. Do you know what? If the hobby ever got stopped in its tracks, I'd whistle blow so much it'd be unbelievable. Because the stuff that I know that goes on, and I obviously can't say for obvious reasons, is just shocking. And Dale comes up with a rather interesting one. My Facebook group had 2,000 members on it. Now it's got 156. Well, there you go. You've cleaned it out. That's what you've got, 156 genuine people rather than 2,000 lurkers. And there's nothing worse than having a Facebook group. I mean, we've toyed with stopping our Facebook group altogether because it just doesn't inspire me to do any work on it. But I keep it going because there's a lot of nice people on it. But it's the most toxic place on the planet, Facebook. It gives people an unnatural power where they can just wield tyrancy, if that's such a word, tyrancy. And then Andrew comes back. I despair at some of the comments on Facebook. Yeah, no, we've had it, and that's why we handpick the people. There's lots of people at choice. We would have a group of 30,000 people. We've got thousands of people blocked. We've got thousands of people kept to it, declined. We declined more than we let in. And we've got, 9,000 people? We'd have 30,000 people. We'd have the biggest Facebook group on the planet if we just allowed everybody in. But you're letting people in that argue with each other and hate each other and are in the hobby for the wrong reason. So you've got to run it really strict and proper. And that's what winds me up. I bet you wish you never asked me that now, don't you? But anyway, there you go. There you go. Dave's got the best idea. His Facebook group has 327 members, but I don't know where to go with it. Do you know what? Just keep it going, David. If you enjoy it and the people are active on it and they enjoy it, I would just...
He's got it wrong. He's got it open. He needs to make it private.
Who's that? Who's that?
David's group.
David, Melanie's just said, if you what?
He's got his group public.
All right, you've got your group.
It won't go anywhere.
You've got your group public.
Facebook won't throw it out there.
Facebook
it needs to be made private.
It needs to be made private. Then Facebook, is that right?
Yeah.
Facebook will throw it out there to attract more members in if you go
In
private, not public, in your area. There you go.
I can see every single comment. Whenever he comments on it, I can see it. So you shouldn't have a group like that. That means others can see.
There you go.
The group should always be private.
The group should always be private.
I can talk you through it.
And Melanie can talk you through it if you need help, because Melanie's on Power Admins, which Facebook themselves set up, and she gets lots of information on there. You can spot the fakers and silly dancers a mile off. Well done, mate. Well done, Wayne. Fortunately, it doesn't seem to have any idiots on it. That's good news. There's no idiots in Scotland, mate. Scotland's a great place. A friend of mine has a client who has just purchased some land next to RAF Wickenby. It's too far for me to detect, but if anyone on Team Unearthed is interested, I can pass their details on. A friend of mine has a client who has just purchased some land. Right, that's interesting, Andrew. Yes, that's very kind of you offering that there. You'll get loads of people asking. I don't even know where RAF Wickenby is, but that does sound interesting. Jason comes in with, you can't be asked with my Facebook group or TikTok. I've got too much time and effort invested in my YouTube channel. That's where my commitments lie, heading towards 900 if you're not sub. Jason is also moving towards the 1,000 subscriber mark. So if anybody could kindly subscribe to his channel, he does work hard at it. And the thing is with Jason, he's a nice fella. What you see is what you get. If he finds some rubbish, which I'm sure he would agree that he does, like us all, he'll show you it. He'll show you stuff he finds. He doesn't cherry pick. So it's honest. It's an honest YouTube channel, which is good, which is where it should be. So feel free to subscribe to the Dark Knight Detectorists. Just let me have a drink. Thanks for the advice, Mel, from David. You can ping over a message to Melanie if you want, Dave, and she'll give you some specific advice. Suffolk Hunter, Mel will ban me if you ask another question like that. No, it's true, actually. I had a bit of a rant there, didn't I? But that's not unusual for me. Most detectives who... Better than my political rants, Melanie says. Most detectives who really enjoy the hobby like me love the history of the artifacts found and wonder what life the person had who lost it. Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. The thing is with detecting, it takes you into another dimension. It takes you into, it's the nearest thing to time travel you're ever going to get, folks, because you're going back in time with those artifacts and coins that have lived a life, in those loose terms that I use, for centuries before you've come along. You know, you were just a twinkle in your dad's eye. And all that time, these coins and artifacts have been buried for countless centuries. And you come along one day with your metal detector, destined to find that coin or artifact and bring it back to the public eye once again. And most detectorists that I know look after their finds much better than probably the museums do that just stick them in drawers. So detecting is the best hobby on the planet, without a shadow of a doubt. It can give you multiple things all at once. It can give you exercise, fresh air, triggers your imagination, gives you the chance to unearth history where you're not going to do it otherwise, and you're saving artifacts and coins for potential destruction. So there you go. Suffolk Hunter laughed at that, Mel. Yes, if you Kyle, if you go onto the Unearth website now, you will see the price of the Manticore coming in at $17.99. Now, here's the thing, which brings me on now to another subject. Just bear with me a sec, Kyle. Watching someone test a machine when they clearly don't know what they're talking about winds me up, often slating the machine incorrectly. I totally agree. Totally agree with you. We're all still learning. We're all still learning how to... I'm just laughing at some of these comments. We're all still learning the hobby. And there's a lot of people that will pick a metal detector up that have never used it before and say, it's a load of rubbish, that. I don't like that machine. It's just horrible. I've never found anything with it. And they've only used it for half an hour. There's an old saying in life. It's like riding a bike. The more you do it, the better you become. And a lot of people still have the stabilizers on their metal detector. Anyway, so brings me on to a question that has been thrown at me for about a month now, and that is the price of the Minelab Manticore. Now, the Minelab Manticore is coming at $17.99, right? Okay, which is an expensive metal detector, but it's a premium metal detector, and it will be a very, very good machine. Minelab don't make bad machines. It's just the users that can't use them properly that usually can't, where the machine falls foul is because of the user. 99.9% of the time, it's that a user error. Most MindLab machines I've used, I've always done very well with them once I've learned and mastered the machines, because they can take a bit of mastering, like all machines do. And there's lots of good machines on the market. XP make good machines, Nocta make good machines, MindLab make good machines, Fisher and Technetics still make good machines in my eyes, even though they haven't moved on anywhere at all over the last few years. But here's the thing about the Manticore, when people are saying and raising an eyebrow about the price at $17.99, is it's expensive. That's far too expensive. Why have they put it at that price? And wow, metal detecting all of a sudden has become very expensive. And when I first started detecting, not me, but this is the questions that I'm getting, metal detectors were dead cheap. And now, because metal detectors become popular, they're hiking the prices up over the last couple of years. Well, that's actually not right. And the reason why it's not right is because you only have to look back a decade ago, which is a long time. 10 years is a long time. When the CTX from MindLab came out, that was coming in at $2,000. So the Manticore is cheaper than a machine that was out 10 years ago, and fundamentally going to be a fundamentally better machine. And I don't want to, hack you CTX users off, because there's nothing fundamentally wrong with the machine, but it's just the Manticore will be a better machine. So in that respect, it's actually come down in price from machines that were out 10 years ago. So it's all to do with the technology, the specifications, and some people are not going to be able to afford it. I understand that. It's like all equipment. It's like computers. It's like cars, whatever you want to be driving, and what you can afford, of course. So I don't buy into this argument that, why have they hiked the price up over other machines? That said, it will take a little bit of time and effort, and there will be people out there that will pick up the Manticore and they'll say, don't like it, not as good as my whatever machine they're using at the time. I'm going back to my whatever it is, my single frequency detector, my cork magnet, or whatever it might be. It could be anything. It's not for me. And then, of course, the arguments start online, and then the Facebook groups all explode, and then somebody finds a gold stater with one, and then it's the best thing since sliced bread, because they don't know what they're talking about and I do, and it just goes all that hype. My philosophy within detecting has always been, let the metal detector do the talking. Don't let the B end, and you can understand what I mean by B end. If somebody wants to put a image of a bell, and then they can put a dash, and then they can put end, they know exactly what I mean. Don't let them spoil what could be, the machine that's going to make all the difference between a good field and a bad field. And of course, you've got to walk over it, and you've got to a lot of things have got to kick in. The universe has got to come together for it to work sometimes, where the ploughed land is flat and the weather's favour a particular field, and you just manage to walk over that gold stater with that machine at that particular moment in time. So there's a lot of things that have got to come together to make it happen, but it will be a terrific detector. That is all I know. And there is going to be 3 coils for it. There's going to be a standard, a bigger coil, and a smaller coil. Let me just see some of these. I mean, you can read each other's comments, so I don't have to put them all up on there. Here, Dale. If someone has just started up and wants out their finds on their channel, I don't think there's anything wrong with that personally. We've all got to start somewhere, mate. Yeah, I don't know what Dale said. What has he said? Don't know. I like YouTube. I like the YouTubers who do videos on how to detect after they have been doing it only a few years or less, a beginner's guide. The problem there is I like the YouTubers who do videos on how to detect after they've only been doing it a few years. Well, to be fair, there's a lot of people out there that think they've got to a level where they can give proper advice and guidance out on detecting. The problem you've got, and it's always going to be a problem, this, is they've only probably used 1 or 2 machines maximum. And they've only probably done a little bit of pasture work. They've never been on arable, contaminated land, highly mineralized sites, low tide in the middle of winter, detecting. So it's very difficult for people that have come into the hobby only a year or two down the line to give beginners guides on metal detecting. And that comes from somebody that's been doing it for such a long time and he's actually still learning. There was a time only a few weeks ago when I was detecting on a Roman site where my detecting partner Gaz came over to me. I've been detecting a lot longer than him. He's been doing it 25 years, which is still a hell of a long time. He come over to me and said, "Are you finding much?" And I said, "Well, I'm not finding one or two little bits and pieces. I've had a couple of Roman coins." And he had 4 times the amount of Roman coins that I did. And he actually said to me, "You know what you want to do? Just try it on this setting on your Equinox." And I did, this particular setting. And it was literally a push of a button, you know, a little bit more than that, but it was almost a push of a button. And within sort of half an hour, I had double the amount of coins in my pocket, in my finds box, than I did previous. And it was all because I was slightly using the Equinox, my Equinox, on that particular site differently than I should have been. And you know what? I took the advice, you know, and that's somebody that's, you know, I don't profess to know it all, but I'm giving a lot of advice and guidance out to people, detecting related, and I'm still taking the advice myself. And I don't mind holding my hand up to say, sometimes I get it wrong. Just like sometimes I can get identifications of finds wrong. Some people come up to me and say, "What do you think this Roman coin is?" And I'll go, "Electus." And it turns out to be Carassius. And what do you think this artifact is? And I say, "Oh, it's a medieval hanger off a medieval pendant." No, it actually turned out to be a purse bar frame or part of a purse bar frame. So, you know, you're always learning in this hobby and you don't get it right all the time. And certain detectors, you really have got to spend a lot of time out in the field. I profess not to be an expert with the Equinox, even though I do well with it and I can give people advice and guidance with it. I don't profess to know everything about the Minelab Equinox. And the reason is because I haven't used it that often. You know, I've used it, but because of COVID and work, I've not been out in the fields like I used to with the Fisher F75, for example, or the G2 Plus, or the T2, or the Gold Max Power from XP. You know, I used to do well with them machines because I learnt them inside out. I was literally out 3 times a week with those machines. I knew everything there was to know about it. And I even used to give the manufacturers advice on what the best settings were on some of their own detectors. There you go, folks. Yes, History Unearthed. There you go. You've got it. Perfect. Expensive, but very much looking forward to getting my hands on the Manticore. First time I used the Equinox, I really struggled, but I expect to struggle for. I did. Absolutely did, John. I struggled, but I still found loads of things at the end of the day with it. But I did struggle. I didn't enjoy the experience. But I came home with, and I always remember it because I put a film on YouTube. Come home with 2 hammered pennies, a Viking zoomorphic buckle, a couple of Roman coins, and a sword pommel. But I hated it. Doom Slob, brilliant name. Doom Slob. I mean, that is such a random name. Greetings from Rock Hill, South Carolina. Hope you're well. I've been following it for a while now. Great channel. I was wondering if you do video requests. I'm not sure what you mean by video requests. Does that mean you want to come on and speak like a live stream? If so, not at the moment, but we will in the future. But good to see you, Doom Slob. Great to see. I love that name. Absolutely love it. Let me just see what we've got coming in. Right. Yeah, Steve, learn a question. Do fellow users use GPS coordinates to record finds, or will the Ordnance Survey 6-figure grid reference suffice? Do you need to record the location of your finds? Now, there will be people on here, Steve, that will be using GPS coordinates to record their finds, and I know there's quite a lot that do it. If you take in your finds to your local finds liaison officer, which we haven't actually got the luxury of doing that at the moment here in Cumbria, I have to say, they will ask you for probably grid figure references. Now, some finds liaison officers used to ask for a rough or a small grid figure reference. Now it was up to 6, or was the highest date the last time I spoke to the finds liaison officer? So by all means, you can use the GPS coordinates. You can take a handheld GPS device out, but people on here will actually understand what you mean and probably comment in about 30 seconds or so, I should imagine, while I take a drink. Absolutely. I'm just reading a comment there as I'm drinking. Michael says, I would just stick to repairing them. It's a minefield giving out advice on detectors. While Michael's on, everybody, by the way, I don't know if everybody knows this, but Michael owns Hartlepool Detecting Repairs, Hartlepool Metal Detecting Repairs, and he fixes a whole host of different machines. If you've got a broken machine that's at home, out of warranty, Michael is the man to fix it. He's got all the equipment. He does the proper job. We wouldn't recommend him if he didn't do a proper job. That's how much I have faith in Michael. And he also, if you're a YouTube member on here, if you've joined the Unearthed membership section of this channel, then Michael gives you discount for being a member. So you get money knocked off. There's another membership perk is through Hartlepool Metal Detecting Repairs. And he repairs lots of different machines. Viking Cumbria, yes, a very interesting place is Cumbria where we live here. Lots of Viking place names. And I use grid reference, History Unearthed said. Steve Harrison, which is an interesting one. Bludicus Detects, she says, Jackie from Bludicus Detects says that she uses what 3 words, which is very interesting. Plenty of apps, there's plenty of apps for recording finds. Would love to see some stuff about the rich old Norse influence in Cumbria and also the finds. Viking finds in Cumbria are very localized. Even though there's a lot of Viking place names, you would expect more Viking artifacts and coins to come out of Cumbria. But I researched the Viking, not the trade links, but I researched the Viking. I've researched Viking Cumbria for over 10 years. I dedicated a lot of time and effort to looking at Viking areas and if they would be rich in detecting finds. And sadly, I have to report after detecting for best part of a decade in that particular field, loosely termed field area, I produced very little from the Viking age. Found a lot of Viking things elsewhere, but not here in Cumbria. However, the tantalizing thing about Viking Cumbria is they used the estuaries, such as the Morecambe Bay estuary, the Duddon, Morecambe Bay, and even the Solway estuary up in Carlisle as almost motorways. If you can imagine them being the ancient motorways of the time, then the Vikings used them, especially when they fled from places like Ireland and the Isle of Man. They sought refuge in Cumbria and settled in Cumbria as well as a peaceful farming communities, not like the Viking horned warriors that people thought they were. They came into Cumbria to settle, flourish and farm. Finds-wise are very thin on the ground, but the place names are vast. Anything with thwaite at the end, clearing, it means anything with thwaite is usually linked to the Viking period, as is Syke and a lot of other names too. I use Techo Track for his GPS coordinates, which is interesting. Absolutely loads of stuff there for you to read about. What 3 words, Techo Track. I have 4 signals on GPS that I couldn't dig during the hard summer. I'm going to go back in February. And I don't use any tracking apps. I'm off grid. Lots of Saxon names in my town. I've not found anything yet. BY at the end of place names is usually a good significant Saxony, Viking-y, Old Englishy sort of word. So anything with BY has usually got a good link. Very difficult to find Viking stuff. Very, very difficult. I remember finding a Viking ring and a Viking mount of a mythical beast. I found Viking strap ends. I found Viking. What else have I found? Viking. What were the strap junctions? I found. It's what? No, that was Bronze Age. Strap junctions, Viking strap junctions. You try finding Viking coins. There won't be many people on here that have found Viking coins. There you go. Dices, yeah, things like that, but very difficult to find. I I found a stunning Norse bell the other week in my jetting field, checking with the portable antiquity scheme. There aren't many found around here. It just goes to show things will crop up at the least expected places. Absolutely will. Absolutely. Vikings are very interesting. I mean, the Isle of Man, we've got a farm at the Isle of Man that should be detected because we've never done it. And I'm pretty sure that will hold Viking stuff, but we've got to get the ferry across and all the hassle that comes with it. Logistic wise, a bit of a nightmare. But the Isle of Man, pretty smart place for Viking stuff. Interesting here from Doomslob. Thanks for that. I was born in Heroin, Furness. I was born here in Furness, but you've put it as Heroin, which is, just a slip. So very interested in anything to do with Cumbria. So Doomslob, you were born in the Furness area. There has been Viking hordes found in Furness. A couple of detectorists way back in 2000. What? Yes, I'm pretty sure he does know where in Furness, Mel. Yeah. There was a horde of Viking coins, and I think some hacked silver found in Furness about 2012, 2011, about 4 or 5 miles away from where I'm currently sitting. So there you go. Barrow, yes, Barrow. Yeah, I was born in Barrow in Furness. Not the town it used to be, unfortunately, shopping-wise, but still a lot of characters knocking around in and around good old Barrow in Furness. Right, so we've got a lot already. We've got the winners. I don't know if anyone's been notified about the winners yet, but we'll certainly do that, which is good. And Rob Hunter Cullington's on, back from his holiday, back to work tomorrow. I've just reminded him, which he's had a great time abroad. Good on him. Good on him. So we've actually got half an hour left, folks, and then I'm off. So the clock's ticking a little bit. We've got quite a lot of people watching on this wet winter's night, autumn night even, mainly on YouTube. If you can give us the thumbs up on YouTube, ding, all it is a thumbs up. That would be fantastic. We will be doing another competition linked to this channel, and probably the announcements will go on the Facebook groups and pages in the next few weeks, which is always interesting. Heroin Furnace was a joke. Barrow full of heroin. I'll get my coat. Yeah, do you know what? Just going off topic slightly. Unfortunately, there's a lot of towns and cities now that mimic or remind me of scenes from The Walking Dead. If you think society's fallen, then you're pretty much right. There's a lot of problems, drug problems and theft problems and every other problem you could imagine in a lot of these towns and cities. Hence why the countryside is the best place to be if you can escape the rat race. Graham, you've got a new fleece to show. Bear with me, David. I have got the new fleece to show. I've got it here, actually, and I forgot all about it. Right, so let me just... Bloody hell.
You put it on in YouTube.
I put it on, and I was too hot in it. Just for the people that know and the people that don't know, we here at Unearthed don't just stock and sell or supply metal detecting equipment. We also sell outdoor gear. And I'm a great believer that outdoor gear should complement detecting. So earlier this week, we had the first batch of the Sherpa fleeces that have come in. Now, these are brand new to the market. We've never, the company rang us up and said, listen, exciting news. We've got the new Sherpa fleeces about to arrive. Do you know anything about them? And I said to Melanie, do you know anything about them? And she said, no. And I said, well, I don't know anything about them. Give me the information. And we got a box. Cutting a long story short, we got a box through. We've already sold quite a lot of them to local people here because of I put it on. And I was just like, wow, these are there's a lot of fleeces on the market that are just thin, rather washed out fleeces that really don't do the job in the wind and the cold weather. This thing is the dog's danglers. So, David, I'm going to put it on now. So bear with me a sec. There is the fleece. It's like Melanie calls me a big teddy bear in it.
It's well fluffy.
As you can see,
I'd like it in pink.
it's a formidable fleece. Whoa. It's a formidable fleece. Now, if you're one of these people that are an outdoor guy like me, and you like your wet weather gear and you like your warm gear underneath, well, guess what, folks? This is the fleece of all fleeces. As you can see, it zips right up. I don't want to catch me bead in the zip because I did it this morning. So you've got the toggler here, the zip there. You've got two big pockets at the front. And it's thick. It's a thick pile fleece. This thing, right, is the difference between freezing your bollocks off and keeping snug and warm. This is going to be this is my go-to fleece now. It's just the best. It's a Sherpa fleece. Now these are not on the website, folks. What's up?
Jason said you look like the little bear from Bo Selector.
I look like the little bear from Bo Selector. What's the little bear from Bo Selector? I don't even know what Bo Selector is. You're gonna have to fill me in, and I'll also mess my hair up now, putting the hood up. They're not on the website, and there's a reason why they're not on the website, and it's because we've just about sold out of them. They're that good. 32 quid. I mean, I think that's very, very good value for money for a Sherpa fleece. So this thing has got like, I think some fleeces are 100. It's like a tog, isn't it, Mel? And I think these are 300, 350. So there you go. Colin Ainsworth is going to wash up. Good to see you. That was great, Jason. The bear off Bo Selector, 32 quid a bargain. Hope I'm on the list for a medium. You are, mate. You are. This is what I would say to people. I don't even know how many were. Hang on. People are taking the pee out of me with sat with my fleece on. All right, that's the. Can you not put like a little image on the screen of that? Give us that, yeah. Apparently, that's what I look like. I actually do.
That's made me laugh. Jason cracks me.
Yeah, mate.
Mate?
Yeah, mate. You're laughing at me, so I'm going to call you mate. Hang on, let me get this off. Jeez. It's like... It was like putting 1 pound of meat into a 3 pound of meat in a 1 pound can. But all jokes aside, folks, taking the mickey out of my big bear looks, that is a serious piece of kit. Now, what I would do is, if you want one, you've ordered one, ring up tomorrow, we'll get it sent out to you. Because these are just going to go. There's a box left, 1 box left, and that's it. And then I'm going to have to put another order in for them next week. I'm sorry, but I've had some stick. Look at them all laughing at me. So there you go. Thanks, Jace. I mean, there's so many people laughing. It's all good entertainment, folks. Absolutely fantastic entertainment. He's dying. Your fault, Jason. Ryan's having a good laugh at it. Mike Richardson's laughing. He thinks it's the same. And Dave and Lee and everybody. There you go. So the fleeces, I mean, they're just so good. If you're walking the dog, stick it on. If your house is cold and your heating's gone, stick it on. If you're all covered, hovering around a candle over winter, stick it on. It's pretty much like having a quilt over you. And it's got this sort of windproof quality where if the wind's really blowing, it won't blow through it. It's got cuffs that are sort of seamed cuffs as well. So, yeah, there you go. I'm not sure if I'd be. No, I would. The one thing I would say that what I've put on there is an extra large, and for me, an extra large. That's a snug fit. That's a snug fit at extra large. So, whatever you think you are, I would go for a size up because you also can get layers underneath. I would say your David probably going to be a large, not a medium. I think the mediums are going to be for people pretty much like, Little skinny buggers. Melanie's still laughing, folks. What the size is like, and a bit of a snug fit, mate. They're not like if you've got a fleece at home, your go-to fleece, and it's a large, I would go for the extra large in them. That's just my personal opinion. But they're absolutely brilliant, and there's going to be a lot of new outdoor gear coming in the next 4 or 5 weeks, because last year we missed out on a lot of, we used to sell loads of wet weather gear for detectorists, not cheap rubbish from down the market where it lasts 6 weeks when you're bending down and the arse rips out of them. This is, we always made sure we sold top quality gear. And last year we didn't. We just concentrated on detecting equipment, and we were getting asked for loads. You've got your snoods in now? No, we haven't got snoods. You got your gloves in? No, we haven't got gloves in. And you know what I mean? We missed out big time, really. We should be supplying the whole range of detecting equipment for people that need it. So we've got the snoods are in now as well. So if you're detecting, you can just stick it up over there. Keeps your neck warm, face warm. They're only a couple of quid, 4 or 5 quid. Is XXL the biggest you have, Lee Harrison? I think XXXL is the biggest we've got, but they're coming in later in. Yeah, no, honestly, mate, you put this thing on and you literally, it's just, I can't speak highly of them. Any more highly of them, I should say. So there you go, folks. Where are we at? Yeah, XXL is the triple XL is the biggest, yeah. So there you go. Anybody got anything that they want to get off the chest? Anything that they want to talk about before we disappear? We've got 15 minutes left, folks, and then I'm off. Hugh McKindle, how are you, sir? My own clothing label would be fantastic, Mike, but it's getting people. See, the thing is, I would love to do a lot of my own label stuff. I'd love to have a signature detector, but it was going to happen at one point, and that got knocked on the head. It's getting the right manufacturers to make the right clothing. That's the thing. Evening, guys. So Hugh McKindle, good to see you, Hugh. Michael, Andrew Allen wants an XL, not a problem. So yeah, you've got COVID, haven't you, Jason? Still got COVID. I mean, COVID's still knocking about. People are still getting it. There's no doubt in anyone's mind. There's still something going out there, but get better, get well soon, mate. How's the second book coming along? Very slow, mate. I've not even looked at. I've not picked up from where I left off 6 weeks ago. I've not done anything on it. I need to. Should imagine probably over Christmas, between Christmas and New Year, if I go quiet and we'll have a bit of time, I might better pick it up, but we'll see. Yeah, COVID, bad news, isn't it? Bad news. Well, get well soon, mate. And let's just see what we've got going on. History on Earth's gone. I think that's hi. I don't know who that is actually. Oh, hang on. Chris Critch. What a man. Melanie won't mind me saying he's an absolute legend. Chris Critch, character from sunny Salford. How are you, Chris? Good. He's one of Melanie's favourite people of all time. The legend that is Chris Critch. Rob's on. Quince, and he's saying COVID's bad at the moment, which, yeah, it seems to be doing the rounds, doesn't it? Doesn't seem to have disappeared. Like, the thing is, though, all these vaccines that people have had, the pincushions in your arms that they're making their way through you at the moment, are they making a difference? I don't know. I've had 3 vaccines. I ain't having any more. Me, personally, ain't having any more. But, 3 vaccines, I thought 3 vaccines would have been enough. I thought 2 would have been. Thought 1 would have been. What we've got going on ahead. I had to delay my 800 sub giveaway. It's coming soon for subscribers only. Screw YouTube rules. For subscribers only, screw YouTube rules. Right, so you've got an 800 sub giveaway. I've had 3, no more for me now. No, I'm not having any more, mate. I know people will be pro-vaccine, which is fine. I've got friends that are going to have 20 million vaccines if they can get 20 million vaccines. But for me, I've had enough of that stuff pumped in.
Vaccine if you need more than one.
That's right, Melanie. It's certainly not a vaccine if you need more than one. And of course, if you disagree with it, that's fine. I understand totally. We've still got 50 odd people watching, which is good. And there's nothing unusual about people getting colds this time of year. And I totally agree with you. Man flu does the rounds around about now. People are getting all sorts of colds and flus this time.
Healthy people can't hide from colds.
Healthy people can't hide from colds,
Don't
hide. And we've got, I've had 3 jabs or 3 jobs. I think you mean jabs, but I'm going to read it out as jobs. I've had 3 jobs and no more. The last one ruined my shoulders for 12 weeks. Was that because you were lifting heavy stuff, mate? Or do you mean jabs? Either way, I understand where you're coming from. I did not even bother if he's going to take me. If it's going to take me. Empire fines. I don't think it's just, I just find it a bit odd. I had my 2 shots last week from Jeff Block. My friend's had his 4th booster. We're just getting a little bit COVID-y here. This is fine. We're all, I've got friends that have never even had a vaccine. They got it, though. They got COVID pretty poorly. They were pretty poorly off it, but they never had a vaccine. They're still knocking about and enjoying life. Chuck Norris never caught COVID once. COVID didn't recover for over a month. There you go. Chuck Norris sorted COVID out. Chuck Norris. Is he still alive, Chuck Norris? What? What did you say?
Oh,
right. I pressed something. No, I had a bit of a freeze. Been catfishing all weekend. A cold is the only thing I caught. Did you get any bites? See, that's why they call it fishing. It's not all about catching fish. It's fishing. It's the anticipation of maybe catching something. And we had some really barren fishing spells this year in midsummer where everything was calm and not a fish. There's plenty of fish out there, but they didn't want to take the bait. As soon as that weather changes, things go a little bit cooler, a bit rougher. We've had a good year on the bass. I've caught some nice bass this year. And my son, Daniel's also caught some nice bass for the first time, along with my friend Jimmy. We've had a great season bass fishing, and hopefully before the year's out, we'll get some more fishing sessions done for the cod. Okay, change the subject. Do you think there will be a second series of Henry Cole's Great British Treasure Hunt? And the answer to that is yes. And that's all I'm saying on the matter, Dave. But yes, there will be a second series because whether people liked it, disliked it, or were indifferent about it, it got really rave reviews, and we got lots and lots of viewers, and it was detecting as you see it. What you see is what you get. We, as you've seen on the tables, we filled the tables full of junk, medium to good finds, and good to fantastic finds. So you got the full range of coins and artifacts and junk on display. So there will be another series. We will be on television again at some point. It'll be next year though. We're not filming anything at the moment. All the filming for this year is finished, both with ITV and Channel 5, and it's been on a personal level, it's been a cracking year for me personally. I've fully enjoyed my time working with the production crews and the televisions, but that is it for the year. Unless something really outstanding turns up fines-wise where the television have to be involved, I don't think we'll be doing anything until next year now. But yeah, what a year it's been. But yeah, there will be. We need a Scottish team on it. Well, you never know, mate. You just never know what the future holds. Whether we get a Scottish team, yeah, you never know, mate. It'd be good to see our Scottish friends on there. But the nearest you're going to get at the moment to a Scottish person on there is me, because my grandmother was Scottish. So I have Scottish blood flowing through my veins. And we've got Claire on, who's a little bit late, but good to see you, Claire. Always a pleasure. Hope you're well and had a good weekend. I bet you were so happy to win that. Yes. Did we ever get to the bottom of how we come last? Did anybody ever get to the bottom of how we come last yet found so much stuff? It just shows you. The Smash Hits who won it, they were pretty much there was dark arts at play. I'm telling you, there was definitely dark arts at play because we got some of the worst locations possible. Water meadows, rough ground. I'm just making excuses up here, folks, for my poor performing last place for me and Adrian. But the Smash Hits, Kate and Shirley, they were just consistent throughout the whole of the series, and they deserve to win, actually. A few days under the stars is good for the soul. We'll send over a couple of pictures. Lovely place. Good. You can't beat fishing. Fishing's the next best thing to metal detecting. It's just terrific. Absolutely terrific. I love it. Claire is well. Hi. I hope you're good. Both good. We are both good. We've had a good weekend. So thanks very much for that. Totally right. Totally right. I mean, we found hammers. I mean, some of the hammers that we found weren't even shown on the TV. We found gold, or Adrian found gold. We found some amazing stuff. But it's just if you draw the dodgy peg, it's like fishing. If you draw the good peg, then you're in for a chance. And we drew some bad pegs, mate, on them episodes. I was looking at Adrian, he was looking at me. We were having little debates in the night in the pub, thinking, right, tomorrow morning you're going to pick the location. No, you're going to pick the location, and none of us could get it. And we won the first one. We stormed the first one. The Smash Hits are unbeatable. The thing is with the Smash Hits, here's the thing, right? They came to us how long ago, Melanie? 5 years ago? There's a couple of bright-eyed young ladies, very, very keen on metal detecting. And Shirley bought her Equinox from us here at Unearthed. And off she went with her Equinox, and we sort of picked her up on YouTube. No, we didn't pick her up on YouTube. We had a phone number, and we picked her up on Facebook, and she started posting up a few bits and pieces that she found. And then the game changed a little bit, actually, because they started coming on the Unearthed Organised Digs, and they were quite shy at first, and I think they won't mind me saying that, but they came and grew as people and detectorists. And now, I mean, Shirley in particular, I mean, you can put Shirley in a field, right? And you look at her, she's probably 8 stone wet through, Mel? She's probably 8 stone wet through. She's strong as an ox for her size. She's fit as a fiddle. Well, they both are as fit as a fiddle. They grind anybody down, the pair of them. They're just machines. And then she wields that Equinox around with a 15-inch coil on. Doesn't hamper her at all, weight-wise. And she finds a deer. If you keep an eye on the Unearthed Organised Digs, you'll always hear me say, and Shirley's up next with her find. She's hit a hat-trick of silvers on the last 2 out of the last 3 digs. Terrific detectorist. I think, sticking my neck on the block here, I think the lady detectorists on the Unearthed Organised Digs are some of the best in the country. We're not blessed with fields with, like in East Anglia, where there's multiple hammered coins lying on the surface in some respects. You've got to work hard for your finds here in Cumbria. You've got to work hard for your finds in East Anglia. I'm just picking on East Anglia for an example. But up here, it's a completely different game. And you've really got to work for your finds. And the ladies pretty much outdo the men most times on the Unearthed Organised Digs. I think it's got something to do with women don't miss much, so the hearing's better. And I also think the men talk too much. How long have you been metal detecting for, you and Mel? Mel isn't a detectorist, but she sometimes comes out and has a go, Claire. But I've been doing it since I was 7 years old, and that's way back in 1977. So quite a long time, yes. Almost too long to remember. Been grubbing on Cannock Chase, old World War I German prisoner of war camp, bombing along nicely. Then I found a hand grenade. Oh dear. That isn't good. Shirley finds last week were amazing as always. Yeah, she found some really good stuff. And even the one before that with the ruined chapel, she found 3 silver coins. She got 2 shillings of William III and a Queen Mary groat even that day. Yeah, she swings that 15-inch coil all day. It doesn't bother her, Jeff. She's I tell you what, mate, you want to see them go, them two. They can bike all over the place for miles, hundreds of miles. They can swim across lakes, they can jog, they can do everything. The proper. They bike to York for a bit of cake. I think they did something like that. I know Kate did York to Lincoln and York to Lincoln and back on a bike. I mean, it's quite a long way to bloody go. Way up. Here's one for you while we've got 40 odd people still watching. Dave Digger, Scotland. Hours of waiting for seconds of madness. There you go, mate. Malk Sutt is on. Now then, Malk Sutt, folks, is the Band of Brothers. He runs the Band of Brothers Isle of Wight metal detecting tours or trips or rallies or organised digs or whatever you want to call them. And at the moment, I should imagine Malk Sutt is somewhere between here and the Isle of Wight on his way. He'll be at Ferrybridge, apparently, Melanie says. On his way to the Isle of Wight detecting trip that starts tomorrow and finishes Thursday. And guess what? The Smash Hits are on there. Kate and Shirley have joined him along with another team. A coach full of detectorists are all going to the Isle of Wight for 4 days detecting. Fantastic. Good to see him out. Keep us postage. And he did actually say, Melanie said you'd be at Ferrybridge. And guess what? He's at Ferrybridge. So there you go. Good luck on your trip. Hope you find many nice things. Give my regards to my favourite detecting couple, Kate and Shirley, who are wonderful people. Say hi to Walter for me as well, who's an absolute legend. And he's back, and you're back Friday, right? So it's a full. How do I join Malk Sutt's group? Malk will contact you, Claire. Actually, if you can drop me a message and I can pass it on to Malk. However, I don't know if Malk's going to be doing the Isle of Wight metal detecting trips next year, but if he is, if my post is too long, does it grey out? No, I don't think so, Hugh. I don't think so, mate. There's that many people chatting. I might have missed something, but I don't think it does, Hugh. Next year, I don't know if he's got one next year. If he has, it would be. I think it'll be March next year. Yeah, I think he does March, October. Yeah, and they find lots of nice things out there. And they stay in a holiday. They stay in a holiday. They stay in a hotel, and they get fed well. And they get entertained. It's like Dad's Army. It's like Dad's Army on steroids. He'll kill me for saying it. But there's a picture of Malk looking rather suave. Thank you. We'll keep you all informed. Got lots of people this time. Well, good luck. I hope you have a good crack. And like I said, give my regards to the good people, Malk. Good people, always give my regards to. We've got 10 minutes left, folks, and then I'm off. I'm in Manchester at the moment, but I can travel no problems. I'll message you. I'll be there next year. So if you are having a trip, Malk, you've got Claire wanting to join you, not a problem. And Malk laughs at that. Claire laughs at that. Just did a post and it seems so. Yeah, possibly, Hugh. Possibly greyed out then. Yeah, I'm not sure how long you can type a message to on here without it going up. But there you go, folks. There you go. So Malk needs to get in touch with Claire, or Claire needs to get in touch with Malk, but we can put them together. That's not a problem. So yes, we're disappearing very soon. I hope everybody's fine and well. And if there's any questions that anybody needs to know, if the post goes over 200 characters, it greys out. So yeah, you might want to break it up into segments, Hugh. I'm not sure whether or not. Yeah, Mike says it greys out. There you go. It greys out. So yeah, so there you go. It's all happening. It's all good stuff. So there will be more competitions that we're going to be running on the groups and pages and on here. Just let me talk to you very briefly about the membership, actually, because I've got it down on my notes. So there's lots of people joining the YouTube membership part of this channel, where you pay £1.99 a month. Just let me put that up. Give Mel mine and Shirley's love. Will do, Mel. She's in good spirits, mate, as always. But she would have read that as well. and heard me read it out. So the YouTube membership section on here, lots of people are joining it. And the reason why they're joining it is because they pay $1.99 a month. YouTube take about a pound of that, so we're left with 99 pence. But being part of the YouTube membership program, you get access to the Unearthed Organised digs and also get discount for the Unearthed Organised digs, which have actually now gone up to 20 quid. So our digs now, folks, are 20 quid per dig. And the reason is because it's costing me a heck of a lot of money putting these digs on, because I've got to travel. Sometimes I've got to travel a 3-hour round trip to visit the farms, to put the digs on, to check for green waste, to check for boundaries, to liaise with the landowner to make sure that these digs are run smoothly as possible. And I'm sometimes coming back with a car with no fuel in it and thinking to myself, why am I why am I doing my Sundays when I should be out detecting myself on the Unearthed Organised dig? So it's got to start paying for itself a little bit. So it's 20 quid a head now. But if you subscribe to the Unearthed YouTube membership program, you get it for 15 quid. But you also get discount on other things. You get channel art discount. If anybody's got a YouTube channel that they want their artwork doing, you can get discount on that. You can get discount for metal detecting repairs. You get access to, he says, pulling a hair out of his mouth or something of that nature. You get access to member-only videos. You also get merchandise offers coming through. You also get discount on certain accessories and other detecting-related stuff. Cheapest chips at $1.99. Cheapest chips at $1.99. So what sort of accessories have we got coming in? We've got a lot of outdoor clothing coming in, Dave. We've got the new snoods in that are really good. Like I said, these bear fleeces are going to take off big time. We've got some new gloves coming maybe at the end of this month that are going to keep people's hands very warm. Detecting related stuff. There is some detecting related accessories and detectors possibly coming on board this year, but we've still got to work out how we get them here into the UK. So there's a lot of exciting stuff going on. It's just very, very busy at the moment. So there you go, folks. Mal, fully agree with the increase. The coach to Isle of Wight will be the trip goes ahead in March will be 3,000 quid, and that's just a coach. I mean, it's incredible to think that we've kept him at 15 quid. 15 quid for a day out, and we're putting some fantastic coins and artifacts in people's hands, and they're getting a really good experience out of it, which is fantastic, which is what it's all about. But I can't continue running the Unearthed Organised digs at 15 quid a head because, and people got to listen to this, is because the landowners now accept and expect a certain amount of money, and we pay the landowners a certain amount of money. Gone are the days when I can throw 100 quid at a farmer and say, can I go on your land here for a great day's detecting? You're full of history. You've never had any detectorists on it before. There's 100 quid. I'll put 40 people on it. He'll go, no. There's a dig group 50 mile away that's offering me X amount of money. The farmers, they're not daft in that respect. They know the price, and we make sure our farmers are well looked after. So gone are the days when me and Mel are walking through the door on a cold, wet Sunday night, thinking I've only just scraped my fuel money back. It ain't going to do it. So it's had to go up. Most digs are 20 quid anyway. I think my throat's going, which is usually a bad sign. Most digs are 20 quid anyway, but if you've seen Unearthed videos, some great stuff comes up. I'd be on them all the time if I wasn't 5 hours away. You're more than welcome, mate. More than welcome. Rob says 20 quid's more than fair, which is kind of him. Do I ring and pay? Do I ring you to pay? Yes, you can do, Andrew. Yes. You get you a little bit of discount as well off them bear fleeces because you're a YouTube member. I've got a problem with my Knox. Just give me a ring from tomorrow, mate. I'll be in the office 9 o'clock in the morning. I wouldn't expect you to do it now anyway. Facebook user evening all. I don't know who that is. Melanie will know better than me. How much will people have to pay to Malk for the trip next year? I'm not sure. That's something to do with something to do with milk. I don't know the ins and outs of it. I just help Malk support his digs. We have lots of people that are friends with us that attend Malk's legendary now Isle of Wight trips. 20 quid is still a bargain. I live for the group digs, and Jim loves it. Jim found his first hammered on our digs, which is fantastic. We don't always get it right on the digs, by the way. I'm going to be a bit self-critical here. There's times when I've drove back. What, Adrian? Oh, Adrian Harris, the Bomber Harris himself, is on. If you remember the Great British Treasure on ITV, my detecting partner in crime, Adrian Bomber Harris, who found the grenade, is on. Yeah, I can drive back down the M6 some nights despondent that people haven't found what I would have expected them to find. And it's a little bit like being a football manager and the detectorists of my team, if you will, and I'm putting them all out on different positions in the field thinking they're going to do the job, and they come back and there's nothing turned up. And the buck finishes at me. And that's how you feel sometimes. And then other times, like last Sunday, I'm seeing multiple coins and artifacts flying up around me all the time. It's just terrific watching people actually on fire, detecting the living daylights out of the field, which is great. I know of dig organisers losing land to other organisers because they pay more. Absolutely. We have a farm here in Cumbria that I don't visit anymore because there's another group, a much larger group of detectorists going on and paying a lot more money to the farmer than we could afford, because we only have between 30 and 40 people maximum going on the digs. This guy from down south, coming up from sort of Lancashire area, coming up with a much bigger group, probably doesn't know half the people that are on there. Could be anybody. We handpick the people, so we're safe, and paying the farmer, a lot of money.
It's already been done by us.
And it's all probably, and the farm's already been done by our group in the past. So it's a good point. And Dark Knight Detector says, I've lost permission because of a group dig. It's difficult. It's difficult. And Ryan says, you won't get sacked as a manager. No, you never know though, mate. You're only as good as your last dig. And, I get rather excited about, as you know, I'm very passionate about people finding coins and artifacts, but I can also be very despondent and very moody and a little bit narked when we don't have a good day. And I beat myself up about it. I'll lie there at night thinking, what's gone wrong? What? And it's just because the history probably isn't there or people haven't dropped anything, but it gets me all mad. And it's usually the weather conditions that have caused it, the dry, arid conditions where depth and detecting ability is compromised and people are getting all hot and sweaty and they want to go home. All detectors know the score though, G. Sometimes you find, sometimes you don't. No, absolutely. Absolutely. By the way, Darren, I do like your logo, History on Earth logo. It's rather smart, I have to say. Ricky Shimin, great guy. Digs are a great day, whether finding or not. Countryside is wonderful. Yeah, we do try to get the best views, don't we? I think we must have one of the best views on digs in the country. All you can do, Graham, is your best, and that's what you always do. Absolutely, yes, I agree. Only difference is the group do the digs as a money maker rather than it's wrong, mate. And I do feel sorry for you, Jason, that you've lost your permission because of this other dig group, and they are purely in it for the money. I mean, these people are going around making a lot of money. And you know what really hacks me off is he'll do a dig on your permission, this particular group, and then on Monday morning he'll go off to do his job as a lorry driver or working at the co-op in the depot or as an accountant or a whatever it might be, a welder, fabricator, sheet metal worker, planner, builder, plumber, and then of a weekend, he'll want to top his account up by doing rallies, and he won't care where he goes and whose feet he steps on, and that's wrong. It is wrong. It's a bad part of the hobby, he says, with his rather glaring glasses. You do very well choosing your permissions, Graham. There have been some amazing finds. More to come, mate. More to come before my days are up. There you go. Can't blame yourself, Graham. Okay, we'll do. Get your number off, Graham. Yeah, we'll get your Malk's number sorted out, Claire. Absolutely will. Yes. Always remember my first time I done your dig, so fresh. Oh, it was fantastic, wasn't it? I'll tell you one thing as well. I agree with Jim. Really enjoy group digs, and Graham, you're right. We talk too much. Men do love to have a crack in the field, which is good, but get stuck into that detecting. Jeff Block found my first hammered on your dig, Graham. You did. I do remember you finding it. It was a fantastic day. One thing I'm going to talk about very briefly before we go, and it's starting to not vex me a little bit, but it's starting to concern me. So somebody earlier on asked me what is vexing me in the hobby at the moment. Suffolk Hunter, was it? I don't think he's on now. He's gone off. And Jimmy Morse, look at that. Now that is a blast from the past, and he found his first skeet on one of our digs. I remember it very well, Jim. And that field was a difficult field to detect because it had been battered over the years by multiple detectorists, because there's been lots of group digs on there, and there's been lots of skeets come off it, and you found a beautiful skeet on it. I remember it. Yeah, we went back on. Wasn't our permission. It was kindly put on for us by another detectorist, if you remember, Shane. And we went on afterwards to do some filming with First Texas, an American company. We spent a day's filming, and right at the end of the day, my detecting partner Gaz got a skeet. Last signal, just getting dark, gets a little Saxon silver skeet, which was fantastic. Very similar to the one that you found, but about 500 or 600 yards away. So it was actually on a different field. Great times. Anyway, what's vexing me very quickly is I'm finding now a number of people, and this happened on our organised dig last week, and I'm not going to name names because it's not right to do that, but it needs saying. There's a lot of people now finding things.
They're not on anyway.
They're finding things, and for whatever reason, artifacts, coins, they're scrubbing them. They're actually scrubbing them up. So they're obviously getting home, they're digging the finds out the finds pouch. And instead of, for example, an artifact, a bronze artifact, for example, we'll use that as an example. Instead of drying it out for a couple of days, using a light bristled brush to remove the dirt, right? And then applying a wax to protect the find and the detail on the find, they're sticking it straight under a tap and then brushing it with some sort of scour. And for me, there's nothing worse than doing it. You're just ruining artifacts. So people have got to now get into the mindset, and I'll have to, on the next group dig, when we have that later this month, I'm going to have to get people together in a group, and I'm not pointing any fingers to anybody because it's wrong to do that. But I'm going to have to say to the whole group, be very, very careful of your finds. This last 12 to 18 months, I've seen some really nice silver coins with a beautiful toning, that beautiful bluey dark tone that some of the silver coins can get on them. They're scrubbing them up, and they're scrubbing it all off to make them shiny, or they're doing it differently. They're scrubbing them so much that they're scouring the silver. You've got to be really careful. I don't know where they're getting the tips and the hints from, but it's wrong. So the rule of thumb is always going to be, if you find a coin, silver coins just need a gentle wash under the tap. They don't need this rubbing with tinfoil effect that some people are still doing, which is unbelievable. The Southerners way down in the southeast, when we used to go on the south of England rallies in the 1990s, used to use the spit and tinfoil method, which is the worst thing you can do. That seems to be still going around, and some people are still using harsh, abrasive methods of cleaning their coins and artifacts. Just don't do it. Don't do it, folks. Keep off the desire, and you get triggered to clean your coins and artifacts in such a way you're just ruining them. And I'm thinking, I've seen some terrific coins ruined recently. It's just wrong. And, they're trying the best to make more details stand out, especially on the artifacts. Don't do it. If the rule of thumb will be, if you think that coin or artifact is pretty to the eye, make sure you leave it pretty to the eye. Don't start brushing and scouring to think you're going to make it look better, because all you do is just completely ruin it. So I just think that the whole coin and artifact world needs a bit of a shake up with detectorists, because there's just far too many out there now ruining coins and artifacts. I mean, we had one Like I said, we had one last week on our Unearthed Organised Dig that's just been completely ruined. And I don't know why. I don't know why they're doing it. It's just ridiculous. So the rule of thumb is always going to be, and I keep harping on about it, but obviously people are not listening, just, if you don't need to clean a coin, don't clean it. If you do need to clean a copper or bronze coin, let it dry out first, clean the mud off it gently, apply a wax with it, leave it to dry, sorted. Don't start scouring stuff. And of course, hammered coins, don't start using the spit and tinfoil effect. It's just crazy. I could bang these people's heads together that started the rumours off all those years ago. Don't worry, mate. We'll get the coin in between 2 bits of silver and we'll give it a good rab. And that was my angle on it. And it's wrong. They need a kick up the ass. They need a kick up. Nothing vexes me more than to see coins and artifacts ruined, because you took all your time to find it, for God's sake. And when they come to light, you think, wow, what a coin, what an artifact. 24 hours later, they're posting it on Facebook, and it's absolutely looks nothing like what it did when they dug it up. It's crazy. Mental. Anyway, there you go, folks. Rant over. But yeah, it's you can give people all the advice you want in the world, because once them coins and artifacts go in their hands, they're pretty much left to do what they want to do. But isn't it a shame that people ruin stuff? I mean, I don't know if any of you guys have seen coins and artifacts, ruined over the years. But unfortunately, I've seen far too many. I even seen a guy once, unbelievably, try straightening out a rare hammered coin, in the back of his camper van on a rally, and he straightened it out, and it broke it in two. And we just looked at him, and I just thought, you know what, just don't do it. Why do it? You've ruined it. And History Hunter says the right thing, actually. A bit of tarnish gives it character, and sometimes helps you. If you get a silver coin like a shilling and a half crown, if you're lucky enough to find a shilling and a half crown in really good condition, and it's got that beautiful toning bit of tarnish on it, sometimes it has like a bluey dark toning on it, leave it. Just leave it. It looks great. If you start shining up with what was the other method that they used to use? Silver glit and Duraglit. They used to rub Duraglit detectorists on silver coins, and they used to shine them up so much that you could almost see your face in it, like a mirror effect. But if you got it under a microscope, or a glass, I should say, you could see all the tiny thousands and millions of little scratches all over the place. It's just crazy. Anyway, there you go, folks. I saw a demo of somebody demonstrating how to clean a silver hammered coin by scrubbing it with silver foil, completely wrecked it. Yeah, no, it's just, you know what? There you go. Right, folks, use electrolysis. Use electro thing a year ago watching horrors, the enamel come off a good find. Yeah, everyone learns, don't they? Everyone learns, but some people learn the hard way. That's a problem. Ryan, I've seen people post they've found a hammy, broke it in half when it's obvious that they tried straightening it out when it broke. Very difficult thing to do. If in doubt, leave it alone. Gold's a different prospect. If you get one of my gold hammers was bent in two. I could have done it myself, but I didn't because I was worried about doing it. So I got a goldsmith to do it, and he made it look like it back to its original condition, and you wouldn't ever thought it was bent. But rule of thumb is always going to be leave alone. Leave alone. It's just bad. It's just bad to see that these detectorists have paid out a lot of money for their machines, and they've worked tirelessly over the months and years to actually find the stuff. And then, they go and ruin it within seconds of getting it home. It's just crazy. Crazy. Absolutely. Jim, they've sat there for all those years, and then people come along and start messing about. Completely wrong in my eyes. But there you go. Sometimes the world can be a funny place, and reason goes out of the window a little bit. Right, folks, I'm going to disappear because it's 8 o'clock and I've been on here for too long. Good to see you all. Have a great rest of the Sunday. I'll see you on probably the next live stream in probably about 2 or 3 weeks' time. Okay? Bye for now.